Midnight has plenty of improvements made for Fury Warrior, including quicker ways to use Rampage, an even easier rotation, and a new buff that will snowball your damage completely. In this video, we will guide you through what to expect in the next expansion, ranking each major change from a thumbs up to a thumbs down. Now, we don't know for sure when Midnight will launch, but for sure it will be at the start of next year. That means we still have at least 3 more months of the War Within, which is plenty of time to hit your goals this season. And while you're waiting for Midnight, we recently updated all of our class courses for Season 3, giving you everything you'll need to rank up fast, including videos on how to perfect your rotation or how to get the perfect opener. We cover everything you need to play just like a gladiator in PvP. We even take concepts like positioning and break them down into step-by-step guides. It's like questing, but instead of experience, you gain rating. We even offer a 14-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee for those of you who just want to try us out. So after this video, be sure to click the link below for an exclusive discount to get started. For now, back to the tier list. First up, let's take a look at the general class tree changes of a warrior. Now, we've already gone over some of these changes in our Arms Warrior preview, so we're going to keep it a bit short here. We'll start off with the choice node that has 2 excellent talents. This choice is between Intervene and Interpose. Intervene is the same spell we all know and love, redirecting melee and range physical attacks from a selected teammate for 3 seconds. Interpose is a different version of Intervene, as it redirects 30% of all damage dealt to your partner until a certain HP threshold. This is an excellent talent, as Interpose will be useful against all pressure, including magic or dot damage. Being able to change between the two will be a nice way to min-max a healing spell that you will use often in any arena match. There's also several talents that will strengthen Thunderclap. Being able to snare more heavily with Thunderclap and apply Rend was mainly an Arms Warrior feature, but now it's accessible to Fury Warriors with these talents. This can be excellent for Mountain Thane Fury Warriors, as it's centered around Thunderclap, so picking up these talents will be a necessity. It will help apply more damage and keep players snared during your DPS rotation, which is a welcome sight. Aside from that, we have a talent that made its way from the spec tree to the class tree in Anger Management. This will most likely still be a mandatory talent to pick up, as it allows you to have more recklessness usages throughout any game. Having more recklessness usages in a game will result to much more pressure, helping you massively with kill opportunities. It could also have excellent synergy with a certain Fury Warrior talent that we will discuss later. There are some talents that are gone from Midnight that will definitely be missed, as Avatar and the Torment talents tied with it are gone from the class tree. Avatar is a powerful cooldown, often tied to Berserker's Torment, giving you another way to gain recklessness and deal powerful damage. While losing the Torment buffs is quite big, Avatar is now part of the Spec Tree talent, but tied into another powerful choice that we will dive into soon. The overall class tree for Fury Warrior is fairly decent, with nothing too exciting, but nothing too bad either. Most of the talents are good, and the first 2 tiers offer nice alternatives, which makes them solid. However, in the 3rd tier of talents, you'll lose access to some strong options if you're forced to play with Anger Management and Battlefield Commander. That covers the general class tree, allowing us to discuss all the major changes in the spec tree of a Fury Warrior. While it looks like there's a lot going on here, in actuality there isn't too much difference compared to the War Within. There are still the main choices between improving your Bloodthirst damage or Raging Blow. These talents typically depend on which hero talent you choose, with Mountain Thane focusing on buffing Bloodthirst and Slayer prioritizing Raging Blow. It could also simply come down to which spell performs better as a filler, depending on the damage output and both Bloodthirst and Raging Blow. However, there are some new talents that tie into your execute, making it excellent if Slayer is the go-to hero talent choice. One of them is Deep Wounds, which used to be the Arms Warrior's mastery. You can now apply Deep Wounds anytime you execute a target, adding more passive pressure. With the bleed effect stacking, you can spam execute to increase this bleed damage, making it easy to apply. The other talent is Executioner's Wrath, which grants extra rage generation while also increasing the damage of Rampage by 10%. This buff is excellent since you use Rampage frequently, so with Slayer, this talent boosts your overall pressure. We discussed how Avatar has been moved into the Fury tree, however, it's now tied to a choice node and may not even be the best option. With Avatar remains an excellent cooldown, granting 20% damage on a 1.5 minute cooldown without a Torment tied to it. It isn't as strong as it was in the War Within. The other choice is now Blade Storm, which is an excellent AoE cooldown, dealing massive damage to all nearby targets. Previously, this talent was tied with Ravager, but since that is gone, it's now tied with Avatar, which means losing 1 big offensive cooldown as a Fury Warrior. Due to Slayer having hero talents evolved around Blade Storm, and Mountain Thane being centered around Avatar, the choice here doesn't really feel like a choice at all. You'll most likely play Avatar as Mountain Thane and Blade Storm for Slayer. There's also a great talent that isn't new, but it used to be a choice node with Anger Management, which is Reckless Abandon. It makes your Raging Blow and Bloodthirst become empowered during your Recklessness windows. This added damage is incredibly powerful, having excellent synergy with Anger Management. So you can have a more powerful Recklessness window, as well as getting back to it quicker. With all the changes being made to the spec tree, we think it's looking quite average overall. Many talents focused on buffing Bloodthirst or Raging Blow, which feels a bit repetitive at this point with little variety in this department. It's also not much of a real choice, since it mostly depends on which hero talent you choose or which one simply deals more damage. But we're not done with the talents just yet. In Midnight, we now have access to Apex talents, and the ones for Fury Warrior are looking absolutely insane. Fury Warriors gain Rampaging Berserker, which buffs your Rampage by 10%, and for each Rampage you gain this buff. When you use Recklessness, you'll consume all the stacks and gain a percentage strength buff depending on how many stacks you have. It further strengthens your Recklessness windows, having a big strength buff every time you use this cooldown. Once again, this ties perfectly into anger management, as the more Recklessness windows you have, the more uptime you'll maintain on this buff. The second talent reduces the rage cost of Rampage by 30 and increases your damage during Recklessness by 10%. This is a huge buff for Fury in PvP, gaining even more damage during your Recklessness window. Not only that, but the reduced rage cost for Rampage is incredible, bringing it down to 50 rage instead of 80. This is massive, as it allows you to apply the Slaughterhouse debuff much faster, one of Fury Warrior's biggest strengths. Reaching 12 stacks as quickly as possible makes it difficult for the enemy healer to keep their teammates alive. Being able to spam Rampage more often also synergizes extremely well with Executioner's Wrath, Frenzy, and your first Rampaging Berserker talent. These will all boost your passive damage. Finally, the last talent allows you to extend your Rampaging Berserker buff with every Rampage you use. This helps maintain the buff longer to further increase your damage, and depending on your uptime, you might even overlap buffs going into your next Recklessness. It all looks strong on paper, but there's one potential issue that could be significant. The Apex talents require plenty of uptime to reach their full potential. To fully benefit gaining more strength stacks and pumping out more Rampages, you'll need to consistently connect with your target. Without this, they may fall short on damage. That being said, we're giving the Apex talents a well-deserved thumbs up. These talents could be true game changers for Fury Warrior's performance in the arena as long as you can keep up to your targets. Moving on to the hero specs, there are also 3 new hero talents for both Slayer and Mountain Thane. For Slayer, you essentially get 2 useful talents and one that's a lot weaker. The weaker talent is Deadly Focus, as this debuff lasts quite a while anyway, and you'll most likely get your execute off before it expires. It can help in some cases, but overall it doesn't add much value as a hero talent. Now for the stronger hero talents, one of them is Violent Euphoria. It grants you 15% extra haste after Bladestorm, which is a nice boost to your DPS. This makes it easier to maintain your Slaughterhouse stacks and synergizes well with Slayer, especially with the reduced cooldown on Bladestorm. The other talent isn't new, but rather a returning spec talent with Unhinged. This adds solid single target damage during your Bladestorm, helping you apply even more pressure. As for Mountain Thane, 2 of the new talents are tied to Avatar, being Storm Surge and Capacitance. Storm Surge greatly buffs your Thunderclap, increasing its damage by 50% and reducing its cooldown, which is excellent for your Thunderblast procs. With Capacitance, you can extend Avatar's duration with each Thunderclap, letting you prolong that 20% damage buff for as long as possible. You also gain Conductivity, which simply increases your Lightning Strike damage, which gives decent passive damage. All in all, we quite like the addition of these new hero talents, though they feel fairly average overall. There are some nice damage boosts here, but nothing too exciting, with Mountain Thane mainly enhancing Avatar and Slayer focusing on buffing Bladestorm. Speaking of new talents, surely there's a shakeup in the Fury Warrior PvP talents, right? Well, unfortunately for Fury Warriors, there aren't any new PvP talents, as the choices remain nearly the same as in the War Within. However, since Battlefield Commander has moved to the class tree, a PvP talent slot has opened up. Considering this talent was a staple in nearly every match, this change does free up some flexibility. Most likely, this open slot will be replaced by Enduring Rage. It gives a ton of passive pressure and another way to proc Recklessness, being excellent for pressure. Otherwise, you can swap it out for other talents depending on what you need, whether that's more peeling tools or additional pressure. While there technically aren't any new PvP talents, having an extra slot for different situations is always a welcome change. Otherwise, without this, the PvP talent selection would feel extremely stale. So, with all the talents covered, where does that leave Fury in our overall impression? The current iteration of Fury heading into Midnight hasn't seen many significant changes to its rotation or gameplay. You're still mainly relying on damage through spamming Rampage, though this will be elevated by the addition of the new Apex talents. And remember, every expansion skill-capped helps thousands of players just like you hit their rating goals. Like Gizmo here, a Resto Druid hard-stuck-it rival with over 5,000 games played, who gained over 600 rating in a few weeks just by using skill cap. Our damage and healing courses save you weeks or even months of your time, condensing down everything you need to know into bite-sized videos. You don't have to be scared to sign up because we have a rank up guarantee that promises you will gain at least 400 rating while using our service. So if you're serious about climbing, visit the discount link below to get started. Anyway guys, we want to thank you all for watching. See you soon.